Welcome, Transformer fans. My name is Composite Enerjoe, and today's review is on it's actually my very first ever crossover figure, the Transformers Marvel crossover, or I'm just going to call it simplified, the Transformers Crossovers Leader Class Ultimate X-spanse. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the name, so from now on I'm just going to call it what it is, the X-Jet. So here is the Marvel crossover Transformers Marvel crossover Leader Class X-Jet. So here it is, and as you can see, it is a very, very big figure. It's very long, which is nice. But yeah. Now, I don't think I've ever said this, but besides Transformers, even though obviously with this channel, I've always mentioned that I really like Transformers. In particular the movies and a lot of the shows. But I also like other franchises and series. So I'm actually a big fan of the X-Men, in particular the 90s X-Men cartoon, which is what this figure is based on. So yeah, as you can tell by the overall design, I think they did a really good job, because this is essentially the 90s version of the X-Jet, in particular from the 90s X-Men, the animated series, and they recreated it in this figure. And I think it looks very, very nice. Very nicely detailed. I can kind of see it because I looked it up and turns out they kind of did, and I can kind of see it in this mode anyway. They did reuse a lot of the pieces, or I think that the phrase is that they remolded a lot of the pieces from the Studio Series Leader Class Jetfire to make this jet mode. And it makes sense, since I believe the original X-Jet was based off of an SR-71 Blackbird. So yeah, the X-Jet, very, very nice. Very nicely done. These flaps are a very weird design, because you can point them up and they flop down unless you put them at this angle, then they sit there. But the moment you touch them... So yeah, so far the biggest issue I have with this figure is that I'm not a fan of the name, so it's just the X-Jet. So I think I already said that. So yeah, other things is that he does have landing gear, which is nice. So you just fold it up like so, and these back ones you fold up like so. And there we go. Very cool. He's really big. Also, this is also where you can store his effect parts, because yeah, he does come with some effect parts, which are these pieces, which I'll put off to the side and show off later. And yeah, I got nothing else to say. This looks great. I think this is a great looking jet mode. Very, very nice X-Wing. Very nice. So let's get on with transformation, which is involved, to say the least. So first things first, let's start with the legs. I think that's the most annoying part. You just wiggle that out, then lift, and not lift, and you have to push this up, push that up to get it out of the way, and then bring this very, very strong ratchet forward. So now for this, not that. This, I think, is the most involved the figure gets, is these legs. So first, you have to get in here. It's kind of hard to see, but you have to get in here and open these panels, like so. And then come down here and lift this piece up and fold it like so. And then we have to start opening this up, so to speak. So bring this assembly down. Fold this in. Fold that in, bring this down, like so. In this part, you have to separate. There we go. You have to separate this, like so. There's like a hinge there. Rotate, and then bring it, then bring this piece up, and it'll lock into place. Let me straighten out the leg. Very strong ratchets. And there goes my backdrop. Oh well. It was bound to happen. This figure is really long, so nothing I can do about that. These things happen. So yeah, there's my light switch. It's nice and red. I try to, not show it off, but yeah. And then you have to get... I said this is the most painful, annoying bit. There we go. Of this figure is transforming the legs. All right, so then you lift that up. Hold on. There we go. rotate, and then bring it down, and it should click into place. And then for here, with the panels open, you fold this in, you sort of collapse it in, and then you close the hinges on these little ports. And this will lock it into place, and then you just straighten it out. And here we have one of his legs. And then these little panels, you can do whatever. Well, this one has to be pointed back, but this one is either back or forward. I think I like it that way. So yeah, so now we got to do the same thing for the other leg. Oh joy. So, okay, so same second verse, same as the first. Lift up. Hopefully it'll be a little quicker this time. And then, okay, there we go. I think this one is always gives me a little less trouble. I don't want to bump the camera. There we go. Then click it back into place, and then you rotate into place, hold down, and there we go. There we go. This one was a lot smoother. And there we have. Oh, and then I'll get that piece later. Hold on. Actually, give me 1 second. Okay, now I'm back. As you can see, I fixed up my backdrop. I got this piece back. Let's just say I haven't been having the most funnest of days. So yeah, wait, how's this supposed to go? There we go. Okay, so I forgot to do that. Don't forget to do that. So the legs, as I was saying, are done. So now we get to the rest of this. So for this, I forgot what I'm supposed to do. Okay, I think you have to unpeg this. So unpeg this, slant that. Then you take these. Hold on. There we go. Take this off. Then come down here, and you got to get your nail in there and separate. I said separate. Okay, there we go. Do that. Bring this. Okay, you basically have to open this up like so, and then will this let me do it? No, okay, not yet. So I have to separate that and then come up here and bring down his arms. Then come down here, snap it in, snap it in. Same thing on this side. It's like this, rotate, snap it in. So just adjust, and then this, by bringing this piece down, you should reveal his head. Just bring it down, fold this piece down, and then, come on, there we go. You have to make sure that piece down there feeds through, and then you bring it down. There we have his head reveal. And then for this piece, make sure to feed, make sure these, this is a bit annoying, but you gotta feed this through and flip them out like so. And now comes the easiest part. Collapse this in, bring this in, then bring this up, and then this down here, this here will peg into here. Come on. It has, yeah, it is there. That's how I did it. Am I missing something here? Hold on. You have to open these up. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, and then you have to fold this down. There we go. I knew it was an extra step. Then when you bring this up, it'll then peg into place there. These pieces stay up there. You have his wings. And after all of that hullabaloo, adjust the legs. And now we finally have, oi, after that involved of a transformation, Which again, I feel the most annoying part is working with the legs because of how tight the joints are, so to speak. We now have the X-Jets robot mode. And I really like this. I really like this. In fact, I feel that this figure is chock full of references to the X-Men, in general, like mainly the characters. As you can tell, the overall design is based off of Cyclops, which I think is really cool. Since Cyclops in the 90s show, which is the era of X-Men that I am familiar with, Cyclops is the leader. In fact, you can even see his visor here, which is very cool. And check this out. I don't know why it's so blurry. Why are you so blurry? That was nothing I can do there. I apologize for the blurriness, but this is how it's coming out. So yeah, as you can see, he does have a head sculpt, but check this out. The visor actually pulls up, and you can see these bright red eyes. That's very cool. That's another reference to Cyclops, since if you're not familiar with him, he wears these visors because his powers are always on, which are his optic blasts. So even the chest piece here to the X and the X, this overall design and even the color scheme is very similar to Cyclops. So this is essentially Cyclops the Transformer. That's how I'm viewing it anyway. These pieces you just adjust here. So yeah. So what are some other references? I think his weapons and accessories, which we'll get to in a bit. So as you can see, head is on a swivel. You can look up and down. Arms are on, I think they're on universal joints. So in, out, forward, back, swivel there, bend at the elbow, and a little bit of wrist action. So very nice. Waist is interesting. Also, the landing gear, I recommend you point it back all the way. I think that has a nicer look to it. The waist is a little weird because he has a little bit of side to side, forward, back, a swivel. It's almost like on a ball joint, it feels like. And the legs are on universal joints, on ratchety joints. So out, in, forward, back, swivel, and technically a double bend. As you can see, there's two. So it's technically a double bend at the knee. And I think it's a ball joint down here. So he does have a little bit of ankle, but I think it's on a ball joint. Not entirely sure. Make sure that's closed. And obviously the panels that are loose here are on their own little hinges. So yeah, he's fairly nice. He's pretty cool. Pretty good. So let's see. Let me get to some other references. At least ones that I feel they were going for. At least I recognize them. So to go back to his accessories, he comes with several. He comes with a couple. But his two main weapons are these things. You have this looks like these energy claw, which is, if you can't tell the reference, this is supposed to be Wolverine. And it's even more obvious when he puts it on here. You just plug it in like so. And now you have these claw weapons, which again, that's a reference to Wolverine, which is very cool. But then you have the other one, which is a singular blade, which I think the idea, like I'm wondering if the idea was supposed to be that this is actually a laser firing, or I think the better reference would be, since this is supposed to be a blade, this actually might be a reference to Psylocke, who had her psychic blades. She had like these purple energy blades she would create out of psychokinetic energy. Was that it? I'm a little rusty on my X-Men. But yeah, I think these are also references to Psylocke. Maybe I'm reaching, but that's how I feel. It would have been awesome if one of these things could plug into his visor to replicate the optic blast. That would have been awesome. So it's a little sad that they didn't do it, especially since the overall design is Cyclops. So we have a potential reference to Psylocke, a potential reference to, a reference to Wolverine, and a reference to Cyclops. So what other references are there? Well, they come in another form, which I have a little theory on. So he does come with a couple more accessories, which are these little figures. These little like rubbery-ish figures of a little Wolverine and his enemy, his arch rival, this little Sabretooth. They're not the best painted. Like, they're okay. Like, you can tell what they are. And apparently you're supposed to put them up here. I mean, I don't know how that's supposed to work, but apparently you can stand them up here. Let's see if I can get it to work. Okay, Sabretooth. Okay, yeah, so apparently... Oh, wait, I got Wolverine? I did it. Let me show it off. There we go. So apparently you're supposed to put those guys up there, but my goodness, it is so finicky getting them up there. So I'm just going to take them down. So yeah, there's these two. And another piece is this little piece, which I have a couple ideas what this is referencing. And the idea is that you put them on the figures, so like an effect is happening on them. So here's my little theory. I think that this effect part is actually supposed to be referencing Jean Grey and her psychic powers. So I think the idea is that the X-Jet here is using his psychic powers to lift up, let's say, Sabretooth, just lift them up and throw him away, or to lift up, Wolverine into safety. The other idea, and this is a bit out there, would be this is a reference to Gambit. And Gambit's power is that he, I think, imbues objects with energy to cause them to explode. So I'm just imagining that the X-Jet has that same power, so he imbued energy into Wolverine to throw him and cause him to explode. So that's my little theory. It doesn't really get on there very well. Like, I don't know why they did this. It's cute, but I don't get it. Like I said, I think this is most likely a reference to Jean Grey and her psychic powers. So yeah, very, very nice figure. Very cool, lots of references. My first ever crossover figure, which is nice. And obviously, this is not the first ever. Like, Transformers have been doing crossovers. Oh, another neat thing I noticed. There's little pegs in the actual effect parts, and you can actually peg them here on the side. I'm pretty sure that's intentional. So you can actually holster his weapons, interestingly enough. So yeah. X-Jet, very cool figure. I think he's a little unstable at the feet. I think I would have liked if this was a little bit wider or something. But yeah, very nice, solid little figure. And like I was saying, this isn't the first time that Transformers has made crossovers with other franchises. Heck, it's not even the first time they crossed over with Marvel. Back in the day, there was a lot of Marvel crossover Transformers of like, Avengers, Spider-Man, Wolverine, something. But those were like robot versions of the characters for the most part, which was interesting. But this, I think what they're doing with these recent ones is they're taking iconic vehicles and making them Transformers, which is really neat. Again, I don't like the name they gave this one. I'm okay with the other ones. So this is actually really cool. And the X-Jet was kind of a surprise, since before this one of the more recent lines, they were based off of live-action movies and those iconic vehicles. I don't know. Okay, I don't know too much about. I'm not sure about the Top Gun one, but yeah, the iconic vehicles. So yeah, it was interesting to see that they went with the animated series, the animated X-Men, to do this figure, which is really cool. And as a size comparison, I said earlier he's a leader class, and yup, he is a bona fide leader class. He is huge. This guy is really big. I think he's about as big as the Studio Series Jetfire. I can't find mine right now, so I don't want to. I can't really, do that comparison. But I think he's roughly the same size, if not a little taller, mainly because he's not hunchbacked. So yeah, nice solid figure. I hope this continues. This is a pretty nice figure, and I wouldn't mind maybe getting some more of these. But where I am, they're pretty hard to find. I just lucked out and was able to find this one. So yeah, nice, solid, fantastic figure. Great. I hope they keep going with more iconic vehicles. So yeah, this has been my review of the Transformers. The Transformers crossover, leader class, ultimate X-spanse, whatever, or the X-Jet figure. What did I say? Okay, I'm going into bloopers territory. I'm just going to say the Transformers, crossovers, leader class, ultimate X-spanse / X-Jet. Before signing off, here's my special person's Instagram. I apologize for the length of the video. There's mine if you're curious. There's hers, which is more important. This is Composite Enerjoe signing off. Peace out and be safe. And I am so sorry this video was so long, but it's my first ever crossover figure and he was a bit finicky and stuff. Blech. Peace out and be safe.